What's up everybody? Thanks for clicking through to another video. Today I'm talking about a running shoe that I had high hopes for, and now that I've had a chance to put 50Ks in it and wear it in a couple of different situations, I guess, I've got some more well-rounded thoughts on where I think it sits as part of someone's rotation or collection in general. The shoe I'm talking about is the Under Armour Flow Velociti Wind, that I'm only calling the Wind because I'm over these wickedly long names. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, and thank you to all of the subscribers who've tuned in. Your support really does mean a lot. Please smash the like button if you get anything out of the video, and comment down below if you've got anything to say, either questions about this shoe or comments in general. Hopefully they're shoe related, but I'll take what I can at this point. Also, I've got an Instagram page. It's 3 kicks a day, just like the channel. Head on over there and check it out. I promise you there will be a bunch of shoe related content, refreshed as often as I can. So the Under Armour Wind, it's a shoe I had high hopes for. And the reason why I had high hopes for it is because I really like Under Armour as a brand. I generally like their apparel, and I've always liked their basketball shoes. Their running shoes though have never really been for me. I have run in both the Machinas and the Phantom 2, and while I really like those shoes for general day-to-day wear, I found the Machina to be a little bit heavy or clunky as a running shoe, and the Phantom 2 had a bit of an odd platform for me to sit on. I liked the midsole, I liked the upper, but it just didn't feel right on foot. So when this guy was announced, I was pretty excited because it looked like a legitimate running shoe that had a significant amount of R&D poured into it. Just the thing I thought I would have needed. But while I think it's a good running shoe for some people, it's probably not the best running shoe for me, and I'll get to those detailed thoughts in a minute. But before we do any of that, let's get to what the shoe is. And what it is a neutral road running shoe that I would classify as lightweight. It's got an engineered mesh upper that Under Armour have dubbed Warp, sitting on top of a Flow midsole. We've got 26mm of stack in the heel, 18 in the forefoot, giving us an 8mm drop. It comes in at 241 grams or 8.5 ounces for a US men's size 9. And it kind of fits true to size depending on how you like your shoes to fit. And that's probably the biggest issue I had with this shoe. I would recommend at least sizing up half a size if you can, but if you prefer a snug fit, then I would say they fit true to size. So I guess from a sizing perspective, it really does depend on how you like your shoes to fit. I'll touch on that in a little bit more detail as we break the shoe down, which we'll do now. Starting with the outsole. And I've got to say, the outsole has performed extremely well. Something that we covered in the initial review was one of the concepts that Under Armour had brought to this shoe to try and reduce weight by shedding any rubber. And so the midsole became the outsole, and it has done a great job on both counts, traction and durability thus far. I still think 50K is a little bit early to gauge durability, but looking at the pattern here, I don't see a whole heap of wear, and it's actually holding up quite well. It'd be interesting to see how much longer it would last before we see any significant wear, but I haven't exactly been gentle on the shoe either. Because we've got some relatively damp conditions here in Australia at the moment, it's never felt slippery and it's never felt like traction was compromised. So all in all, I think that Under Armour have really nailed the design on the outsole, and I guess the only thing that's yet to be seen is how durability holds up. But looking at the outsole today, honestly, I don't think durability is going to be a huge issue. The midsole. This is probably one of the more minor issues that I had with the runner. It was really unforgiving at any moderate to slower paces. I didn't find it particularly comfortable. When you pick up the speed though, the midsole is really responsive and it enjoys going at those paces. But what you lose there is versatility. Because I've got a mountain of running shoes, this fits in well because I could use it on the days that I knew I wanted to pick up the pace. But it also felt like I was fairly limited in when I could use it because my speed days are fewer. So it really is going to come down to what type of shoe you're looking for as to whether or not this midsole will meet your needs. For me though, I found it to be a little bit firm and it really didn't soften up over the 50Ks. If it does soften up past 50Ks, I still think that's a long time for the average runner to break in a pair of shoes. Into the upper, and the upper is great. The upper itself is really comfortable, it's breathable, and I had no issues with the way that it felt on foot. The padding is sufficient around the heel and tongue, and my lockdown was great in the shoe. But it's the fit that really let me down. It is a snug fit. It wasn't as snug as a Pegasus 37 in that my foot felt like it needed to break free. My foot felt like it was okay in there, and while I was running, particularly at faster paces, it wasn't as much of an issue. But as soon as I slowed it down, and when I would walk in particular, it just became uncomfortable. My toe would continuously butt up against the tip of the shoe, I guess, and because there's this overlay around the toe cap area that kind of covers the toe box, it kind of felt like that was adding a little bit more rigidity there than what it needed. It would have almost been better to do away with that overlay so there would have been a little bit more flexibility in that part of the upper. And so that's why I recommended up front for people to possibly try on a half size up if they can. Unfortunately, and I've covered this before, as a US 13 I don't have that option because after 13 is 14, there is no half sizes beyond this point. It just depends on how you like to wear your running shoes and shoes in general. If you like a snug fit or something that fits true to your foot, I don't think you'll have an issue with it. If you are like me and do like a little bit of room up top, I would recommend getting a half size up, and then you'd probably need to see if the fit is too sloppy or if this size is okay or too tight. But in any case, I think sizing is a little bit unpredictable on this and it can impact its use, I guess. Because of that reason, combined with the stiffness of the midsole, it was really only reserved for the days that I would go a faster pace. Nothing else, nothing less. Versatility wasn't quite there. Hopefully it's something that can be improved on in the next iteration. So the key takeaways for me are that it is a shoe that's built for speed and it carries those characteristics well. I think it's completely consistent with the way that Under Armour have marketed the shoe, so I don't think that there's anything particularly wrong with the shoe itself. You just need to make sure that if you are considering this shoe, it fits your needs. The innovations with the outsole I think so far have proved to be really great, and it'd be really cool to see how they expand on this in the future. But if you are considering this shoe, I would suggest that if you are not looking at running fast all the time, that this is probably only suitable if you are complementing it with like a max cushion shoe or another daily trainer. That was a point I made in my initial review, and I think that holds true. And I know I've said this before, but if you are looking at a single pair of running shoes to kind of cover a wide range of situations, this one here probably won't do it. If you've got any questions or you've got a different view, please share them with me in the comments below. But until the next video, laters.